Hey folks, Jack from Peach Guitars here. I want to invite you today to join me on a brief exploration of the new Magma 57 from Origin Effects. If you enjoyed this video, when you finish watching it, please leave us a like. Make sure you comment down below with your thoughts of this cool new pedal as well. And make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of these videos from us in the future. So this new pedal kind of follows in the footsteps of the Revival Trem that came out, I believe, last year. You may have seen the little focus that we did on that. I kind of gave a few of my first impressions of that pedal, and that's what I want to do today with this. So I say it kind of follows in the footsteps, and what they've done is they've implemented another choice effect into their pedal lineup. And what they've done very cleverly is they've merged it with some very clever amp modeling design circuitry as well. So not only do you have a great sounding overdrive that sounds very dynamic, very warm and natural, as Origin always do with their pedals, but it's been combined with a new effect. And this time around, they've gone for bottling some of the magic that original series Magnatone amplifiers had with their amp vibrato circuits. So as with the Revival Trem pedal I talked about before, the Magma 57 uses not just a regular guitar effect, but it's actually an effect that is a pivotal part of an amplifier's tone. If anyone knows or has heard or played through any of those old Magnatone amplifiers, you'll know what I'm talking about, where that vibrato effect is so unique to that style of amp, and it really meshes with the overall guitar playing experience. It's a very dynamic thing, it's a very interactive thing. That's something that Origin are trying to pioneer with their pedals in bringing back some of those great effects that you just don't really get from any other way than plugging into an old amp. However, as usual, they've bottled it into this size format, which works really well on any pedal board, and it just makes this kind of effect usable once again in a much more practical sense. Now, I've been pretty lucky today. I'm going to play this pedal with a couple of amazing guitars that you can see here. You're going to hear some tones with this original 53, I believe, Les Paul Gold Top with P90s, as well as this 62 original Strat as well. I'm also playing this pedal directly through the usual Dr. Z Maz 18 with reverb on board. That's set pretty clean, but I wanted to show you an example of how well this suits any amplifier, even if it is crunching up a little bit and even if it is a little bit driven. The headroom and bandwidth in this pedal will suit any kind of rig. Okay, so first and foremost, you've got three grey controls up here which correspond to the amplifier overdrive sound. So, as is the case with all Origin pedals, they give you a really natural amp sounding overdrive in here. This is nothing like a Tube Screamer style overdrive. This is purely dynamic, rich and wonderful amp goodness. You've got an output control which just controls the overall output level, a tone control and a drive control, and the way that this drive control functions is similar to that of an original non-master volume Magnatone style amp. So the louder the amp would be, the more distortion you'd get. This is how this operates as well. It's not like a preamp gain thing. It's just a great natural power amp sounding overdrive as you turn this up. Though at lower settings it sounds like a really nice clean platform. So you can kind of treat this as an always-on pedal almost. And in some of the clips you're going to hear, I'm using it in a very clean way, and you could easily stack some of your favorite overdrive pedals into the front of this and it would take it in a very dynamic, lovely way. So moving down to the next row of controls, these two gold knobs here control the vibrato effect, and those are only active when you press the vibe switch. You'll see that the LED changes from a stock red when the pedal is on to a glowing amber or gold color, which signifies that the vibe circuit is on. So you've got an intensity control here and a speed control. Pretty standard stuff for most modulation pedals, but I really like the way they've implemented not only the control that you have over the rate or the speed of the modulation, but also how the intensity works in conjunction with this blend switch. So the 3-position blend switch here has 3 markings, which is neutral, 0 degrees, and then 180 degrees all the way down. And what that does basically, in the middle position, you're getting the pure vibrato sound, so it's modulating the pitch, it's pure wet signal for the effect. When you put it up into the top position, which is marked 0 degrees, you're getting an in-phase blend with the dry signal as well. And what that does is kind of gives you a bit of a chorusing effect, and it makes for some of those classic univibe style modulation tones as well. So you can cop some really nice Hendrix style, univibe style tones from this, as well as pure pitch vibrato. Same thing in the downward position, but it flips the phase of the dry signal. So you get a little bit more of a thin sound, a bit more hollow, and I actually really like the way this sounds with a slower speed, and it gives some really nice haunting kind of atmospheric tones as well. So it's a very simple circuit, but just by implementing some of these natural phenomena, if you like, of the way the blend control works, you get 3 completely distinct effects that completely translate to different playing experiences when you use them. The only other switch here is the multi-switch, which basically just varies the rate range of the speed control. So you've got times 1, times 2, and times 3, and it just gives you a different range of speed options here to vary with the speed control. I quite like it because you can just have 3 preset rates for the control and just jump between them with the switch. You can also use a momentary switch to act as a tap tempo, which plugs into the foot switch jack up the top here. So if you want to put this on a pedal board and you've got some kind of tap tempo switch already, or you're using a switcher or something, this is very pedal board friendly in those ways. So the only other control section is linear across all the origin effects line. You've got this post-drive EQ, which allows you to, once you've dialed in your tone, have 3 different options of EQ curves. There's a flat power amp setting, there's EQ1 and EQ2, the latter 2 of which are designed to be used with different kinds of amps to help you suit this pedal to your amplifier's front end. Though actually, I found that the power amp setting works really well with this pedal. So you're actually going to hear a few clips where I'm using this, which just gives you a much broader, wider open kind of frequency tone. Can be a little bit noisy into the front end of some valve amps, so just be careful of that. But if you use it with moderate settings, this is kind of the clearest representation of this pedal, I feel. And then you've got this final little trim pot which just adjusts the overall high frequencies. So again, once you've dialed in your tone, if it's a little bit too dark or a little bit too bright, you can just notch it either way with this control, so very handy. So that's about it for the controls. It's a very simple pedal, as was the Revival Trem, and that, I think, is its greatest strength. It's so easy to get great tones out of this pedal just by plugging and playing. But when you start experimenting a little bit, you find that there is a whole wealth of different modulation tones in this thing. The drive tone sounds great by itself as well, but as with the Revival Trem, just having this on, leaving this on just a little bit with the intensity quite low, really adds another dimension to any guitar tone that you're going for. are, folks. So a few first impressions for you. I really like this. I think it's a really musical sounding effect. Those guys have done it again. And if you want to find out more information about this pedal, then you can click the link in the description below. Head to peachguitars.com and check it out for yourself. I hope you've enjoyed the clips of this new Magma 57 pedal, and if you have, leave us a like down below, comment with your thoughts, and make sure, as I said before, that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any content from us in the future. Head to peachguitars.com if you want any more information about this. So thank you very much for watching. As always, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.